Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to do a mandala postcard today. I found these recently and I was tidying up. And we used to use these a lot, didn't we, back in the day when you had to send a postcard with your name and address on to enter a competition. So I found these from WH Smith, 85p. Looks like a really old price tag. It's probably back from the 80s or something. But yeah, I thought I'd do some mandala patterns on the back. So I'm just going to do a quick watercolour background. I can't make it too wet because obviously it's not watercolour paper and I'm not sure how well it's going to take. Let me just do a light kind of wash. So I'm doing sort of summery colours. It's been so hot lately, hot and sunny, and today, as it's the weekend, obviously it's raining. It's quite dull today. Got 3 days left of school and break up for the summer. And it's weird because since we've had the internet, it just feels like we break up for the summer really late. If you don't really realise that other countries break up so much earlier. I always knew that Europe and the US have longer summers and break up earlier, but it's a lot more noticeable now we've got the internet. It just feels like our term is going on and on. Okay, so I'm just using, I think these were Daler Rowney watercolours, just to get some colour in the background, and then when it's dry I'm going to just do some light pencil circles. Okay, that'll do. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so it's pretty dry now, so I'm just going to draw some circles with a compass. I haven't used one of these for years. And then I'm going to use the acrylic paint pens, markers, and some micron fine liners as well.